I will ask my panel to come join us. It's nice to see you all here. We come this evening to discuss what is either a phenomenon or yet a set of phenomena. The longer I've fooled with it, the more I think it may be the latter. It may be a set of phenomena. That is to say, I come from the book industry, as Jennifer just told you. And I come, most of my life having been spent there, and the last 12 or 13 years of it spent in the business of watching the interface, if you will, between commercial publishing and religion and the American religion as it's practiced out in mainstream America, and conversely, the effect of religion on commercial publishing of books in that field. Certainly out of that context, the phenomenon tonight is Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code. Publishers Weekly, as Jennifer said, is a trade industry journal, and as such, given to not engaging, shall we say, in hyperbole. We try to be fairly staid and fairly cautious in what we say. And when we were closing out the year for 2004, last December, and getting ready to write up the survey of the year and what had happened, we immediately had to go to the Da Vinci Code and called it, with very florid language, called it the biggest selling adult hardcover novel ever, which is to say that close to 10 million copies in hardcover of that book are now circulating. Unprecedented circulation in the history of American publishing. And I'll make that an even more unusual figure by telling you that 4.35 million of those books were sold in 2004. The reason that's unusual is that for 9 of the 12 months in 2003, that book was out and already on the shelves. It truly is unheard of for a hardcover book to sustain itself well over into the second year of its publication. It has just completed, as you also know, its 100th week on the New York Times bestseller list. So that's the phenomenon. I think also and hope that our panelists will touch tonight on the other part of the phenomenon, which is to say that after the Reformation, after Enlightenment, rationalism came along, when God Talk was delivered in print, it was normally done in nonfiction. The understanding was that you did your God Talk in a form that could be vetted, could be mentored, could be juried by your peers, and that therefore went to the public with some sort of oversight, if you will, to its authority and to its authenticity. In one of the phenomena that characterized the last part of the last century, especially the last 4 or 5 years of the 1990s, was the shift from God Talk out of its traditional format of nonfiction over into a fiction format. And more than into just fiction, into entertainment fiction. And that's where it pivots. Like every knife, it cuts both ways. The good side is that when you tell something in fiction, when you tell a religious story in fiction, you can sometimes use metaphor and suggestion, almost poetry, if you will, to convey ideas and concepts that could not be conveyed with quite in the same way in a nonfiction approach, that just simply are not reducible to fact. When you tell it in fiction, you have that advantage. When the fiction is entertainment fiction, then religion becomes servant to the story, rather than conversely, where the story is servant to religion. And that's the pivot point. Because when you make that change, and it was made not just in books, and there are other books besides Dan Brown's. Those of you who've heard of the Left Behind series are aware that it also works in this same context. Some of the recent movies work in this same context. But when that happens, when religion must become servant to the story, what you get is a great blurred area. in which the factuality of what you're talking about is not as important as whether it grinds the story or carries it forward. I've been amazed in moving around the country at the number of people, devoted readers of Da Vinci Code, who simply cannot remember what the plot was. Their memory is of that great blurred area and of how exciting it was to maybe come upon a conspiracy they had not known before or a prejudice that they really wanted.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.